All right. I'm going to tell y'all about the escape. Now, the crazy thing about this is I just feel like telling this story, but and it was my plan to introduce you guys to old tough ass Tony, but I haven't introduced you to him yet. So you're just going to have to use your imagination. I'm going to introduce him a little bit later. Then maybe you can come back to this story again. So we in school, man, and the word come through the grapevine that these boys gonna escape tonight. Okay. So two things happen when you hear something like this and you incarcerated. First of all, you get excited. You get excited because when you're in the institution, no matter the institution, whether it be jail or prison, there is no action. I mean, there's action like the crazy, stupid action, but I'm talking about for the most part, there's nothing going on, no movement, all locked down all the time. You seeing the same people doing the same things. So to hear someone is going to try to escape, that's exciting. That's more excitement than we done had. Also, well, for a person like me, you start to wonder, is this possible? Because if they gonna try to escape, it means they done put together a plan. If they done put together a plan, why haven't I put together a plan that could actually work? So now I want to see if the plan that they done put together will actually work, because I'm in here too. So man, the word come down that they gonna escape tonight on third shift. Cool. I mean, man, we go through the whole day kind of excited, anticipating what's going to happen throughout the dorm, man. We making bets on whether or not it's true or false. It's a lie. I can't remember who told us they were going to do it. Maybe it was Sean Griffin, but whoever told us they were going to do it kept reiterating the fact that they weren't playing. They were actually going to do it. So in the DeKalb County Jail, we locked down at 10 o'clock. Now, we used to make it hot. Make it hot is when you basically sleep in another person's room. I never really thought about the name at the time. Now, as I'm thinking about it, it's like, okay, you making my spot hot. But that's what we used to do. All because, first of all, there was no lockdown. We already in jail and we juvenile. So this is the only place to house the juvenile. Even though we didn't know this at the time, this is the only place to house the juveniles. So if we get in trouble, they just got to lock us in our room. You can't like take us to a different, like you can't take us to isolation. You can't take us to the hole. You can't do none of that because this the only place designated for the juveniles. Again, but we didn't know that. When you spend a night in someone else's room, see, every night they gonna come through and they gonna do a count. When the shift come on at night, I think the shift come on at about 10 o'clock. So as soon as we go in our room, it's a change of shift. As soon as the shift come on, anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes after the shift comes on, they walk every dorm. They're gonna start at the first dorm, walk by every door in every dorm just to make sure everybody's all right, make a count, whatever. They just doing rounds, called doing rounds. So what happens is, let's say we're going to say, I'm going to make it hot in your room tonight. What happens is we try to time it. If we know which officer is coming on and which officer do a good check, which officer kind of lazy. Man, Officer Flint? Was it Officer Flint? I'm trying to think because, man, we actually had a favorite officer. It just brought it back to my mind. I'm gonna have to reach out to that boy Polo. But we had a favorite officer. His name was Officer Flint. Black dude with glasses, real cool. He used to give us a lot of leeway, but he would lock us down. Now, when I say cool, I mean we not only did we make it hot, but we used to rig the door, but it was called something else. I can't remember what it's called. So when you got an officer like Officer Flint come on, being that he worked with us all the time, you know, he don't too much punish us. If Officer Flint come on and I'm not in the right room, then he'll find us, find where we at. Say like he doing a check and I'm upstairs in somebody's room, but I'm supposed to be in my room. Man, it used to be crazy because you would know. So there's a bottom row and there's a top row. If he start on the bottom row, we're gonna say, all right, I'm supposed to be in room 3, but I'm upstairs in somebody's room. So when the officer come around to do their rounds, we'll be standing at the door looking or listening or standing behind the wall in the room so that they can't see us. But you listening. If the officer make it past the whole row on the bottom, like if you make it, if you don't hear anything, that means he's walking past every door and he's looking in and he's satisfied. So if you done made a dummy or something in your room, which is actually an escape charge, but we used to do it. So if you done made a dummy or something in your room, that means it works. So if you standing there and you hear the officer say, pop door number 3, because what they'll do is, like, even as they say it, they'll also raise their hand because the person in the booth can't hear them. So they will raise their hand and they be standing at door number 3. So again, if I'm upstairs in room 8, if I'm upstairs in room 13 and I'm supposed to be in room 3, I'm hiding. I'm hoping they don't pop room 3. If he make it past room 3 and nobody says nothing, that means I'm good. All I got to do now is when he come up to the top range and look in this room, I just got to be hiding behind the wall small enough so he can't see me. Then they going to finish the rounds, go back downstairs and leave the dorm. Now we good. 2 people in the room. We kicks it all night. We just ain't got nothing better to do. It's just exciting. It's just the thrill of trying to get away with something. So that's how you make it hot. Officer Flint would come in and he hadn't got hip to all the tricks and all the trades. So he will open the door. First he will pull the door. So what happens is if you pull the door and you've rigged it, it'll still feel locked to the officer on the outside, but us on the inside can manipulate the rig and open it up. So now it got to the point where Officer Flint would come in and he would check the doors that he knew would be rigged. You know, if he caught the door rigged, he wouldn't lock you down. He wouldn't make too much. He wouldn't give us too much punishment. He just check everything. So most of the time we knew when Officer Flint was coming on, there would be no making it hot, because if Officer Flint come on, he gonna look in dorm 3. He gonna look in door 3. If he look in door 3 and he see it's somebody in the bed, he gonna be like, hey, move. He might knock on your door. Go on and move. If you don't move, he gonna say pop 3. When he pop 3 and go in there and there's a dummy in there, he just gonna come out back in the dorm and stand there and be like, look, wherever you at, man, I'm gonna count to 10. Have your ass down here in this room. So he might start counting. 1, 2. So if I'm the one supposed to be in room 3, you know, now I'm hitting the button. I'm hitting the button in room 13. The officer room button, the officer in the booth will know that I'm trying to get out, because she'll see Officer Flint down there with the door open. She popped the door. I come on out. I go in my room. Flint will lock me in my room. Sometimes he would get fed up. Like when it's time to come out tomorrow, everybody door would pop and my door don't pop. And I'm just saying me because I use me as the example. But whichever one of us got caught making it hot or doing what we supposed to do, you might, you know what I mean? Next thing you know, your door done pop and you looking like, hey man, why they ain't let me out? They'll let you know, hey, Officer Flint lock you down or whatever. But again, like I said, for the most part, Officer Flint was cool because he knew we wasn't really no threat. We just being bad and breaking rules, doing what we ain't supposed to do. So when we find out that these boys getting ready to escape tonight, can't nobody make it hot, because of course, when whatever go on, a lot of officers gonna come. It's gonna be some searching. It's gonna be a big deal. And they about to escape, and making it hot in someone's room is a real escape charge. So we don't do that. Everybody go to their own room. And to be honest, we had got so good at it that sometimes I used to actually be, when I'd be upset in my room, I still remember I was in room 14, 214. So I would actually be upset that I gotta stay in my own room tonight. Man, it's boring as hell in here. When I used to go in other people's room, just like right now I'm doing with y'all, we just tell stories and stuff, right? What happens is when the third shift comes on, first shift, second shift, third shift, or was it 2 shifts? So second shift was from 2 to 10, 8, 16, 24. So it got to be 3 shifts. The third shift was like from 10 o'clock at night to about 6 in the morning. So when the third shift comes on, after the second shift done left, what they'll do is you got a house man. A house man is a person that most of the time is the guy that has been in the dorm the longest, so the officers would be the most familiar with. They would have some level of trust, meaning when everybody else in their room, they would let the house man out. The house man could take we had the yellow mop buckets but they would be in the utility closet outside of it. You have to pop the door, leave the dorm, go into the lobby area to the utility closet, get the cleaning supplies, come back, the officer pop the door, let you back in the dorm. Most of the time, the officer is 2 officers on the floor, most of the time working each floor. 1 officer in the booth, 2 officers in the booth, but 1 is always in the booth. So like I said, if Officer Flint come and do the rounds, there might be a woman in the booth who just, she don't want to do rounds. So Flint do the rounds, she pop the doors. If she get tired and want to do her rounds or something, it might be Flint in the booth and another officer doing the rounds. But there's always an officer in the booth. Sometimes like I said, if they short officers or you got a level of trust, without that second officer that's walking the floor, they would still allow you to come and get the cleaning supplies and start on the on your chores or whatever, or clean up the dorm. On this particular night, for whatever reason, this old lady was working the dorm, and when I say old lady, she was old, but not. Again, back then, I'm 14 years old, maybe 15 by now. So 40 is old to me. So back then, she might have been anywhere from 40 to 60. But she wasn't 60. She might have been anywhere from 40 to 50. Man, this lady, and she doing the same thing every day. When she come on, she let them boys out. She let 1 dorm out at a time, go to the utility closet, come back, pop them in, they clean up, whatever. See, the upside to being this house man or being the one to clean up is after you finish cleaning up, right? Everybody's in their room. So they would let the house man actually chill, maybe either to a certain time. Sometimes they'll let the house man stay out all night. So after you done clean the dorm, and most of the time the house man gonna clean up real slow. I mean, he gonna make sure everything clean, because when you finish, you gotta go in your room. So after the house man clean up, he gonna ask the officer to turn on the TV. Depending on how the officer feel, officer might turn on the TV and let you ride out. That's what we call it. But they can let you watch TV. Then you gonna have niggas beating on the door telling you, "Hey man, let's watch this. Hey man, let's watch Jerry Springer. Hey man, let's watch this." So this was the privilege of being a house man or staying out. You know what I'm saying? And they would give you a sack lunch. There's going to be 4 pieces of bread, 1 piece of cheese, 2 cookies, or maybe an apple or something like that. The bread was always soggy, and the cheese was almost like always out of date. So it was never good, but we've been here so long that we actually want the sack lunch, and we ate them and we loved them. But again, this was the benefits of staying out. You get to watch TV, you get an extra sack lunch. Believe it or not, as pathetic as this is, man, this was something to look forward to. Niggas will fight about being the house man, either for the night or permanently. If a guy been there a year and you just came, he the house man, and ain't nobody else gonna be the house man until he leave. Yeah, you can get beat up by the house man spot. Man, the lady done let, so it's Quint, Sean, and Tony. The lady done she let Quint out of his dorm to get to get his utilities for his dorm. They in dorm 300. Quint go back. I don't know how they did it or how they pulled it off, to be honest, because it's protocol to only have one of these doors open at one time. Now, we are able to trick our doors and rig our doors to where we can open them and close them, but most of the time the officers know and just don't care, or being lazy, because when that door is open, there's a light on. So what I'm saying is Quint would have had to leave the dorm, go get the utility supplies, come back to dorm 300, act like he's closing the door, but actually rig it, because she can't open up dorm 200 and let them go get the supplies until this door is closed. So what's done happened is he done opened the door, let Quint go get his supplies, come back, get it. He's supposed to lock the door, but he didn't. He rigged it some kind of way. You know, it's one of them situations where if she be like, hey, lock the door, he might go and be like, it's locked. She'll be like, man, the light's still on. Lock the door. The door locked. So what she'll do is she'll pop the door. She'll think something is malfunctioning. She'll pop the door and be like, open it up and close it again. Now, we had a trick for that, man. When I tell you we got smooth, because when an officer, say like I got my door open and I'm trying to keep it open, but the officer ain't got nobody to check. When she say, door 13, lock your door. It's locked. She gonna pop the door, pow, slam it. What happens is if you slam that door hard enough, if you slam it like normal, it'll catch. But if you put some speed on it, the vibration and the speed, the door will actually ricochet off itself before the lock can catch it, but it'll slam. So the officer will hear the door slam. It'll slam like bam, but it's slamming and it's coming back before the lock can engage. So you holding the door the whole time. You slam it, and when it jump out, you just holding it so the officer can't see that the door is actually open. So you slam it, boom, and it's open. I mean, listen, we had tricks and games. It's kind of hard to explain, but if you know, you know. So the officer be like, slam the door. You slam it, boom, but it's still open. Now, the only way they'll know about that is if another officer come around, she say, hey, check door 7 for me. Now, you got to be watching and looking, because when that other officer pop that door to come in, you know they coming to your door. So as soon as they pop that door, you got to go on and lock your door without them hearing it, because all this can get you locked down. Man, I ain't realized this was so much to explain. Goodness gracious. So that's how Quint can get over. He can get his supplies, come back, act like he locked the door. When she pop it, act like she can slam the door, act like it's locked. Boom, but it's not. It's just resting on the lock. Now she popped dorm 200. Tony go out to get his supplies. Back up a little bit. What we used to do is, sometimes when you have the lazy officer in the dorm, when you know you have a lazy officer coming on shift, what we would do is, and this is a gamble also, you got to take your chance. There is a community toilet in the dorm in the back of the room, away from the common area. Nobody uses this toilet because off the real, well, when I was there anyway, I don't know how it is now, but when I was there, no one used the community toilet because it was automatically going to be filthy. The only toilet you would use is the toilet in your room. Because if a person has to use the bathroom while we out on the dorm and the officer is being a butthole and won't open the door, you got to go and pee in the community toilet. When you go and pee in the community toilet, it's already so nasty. It's like a Chevron bathroom. It's already so nasty that you're going to stand back and just try to get as much as you can in the hole. So you adding to the problem. anyone who got to use the bathroom that day, it's been accumulating. So the community toilet is absolutely off limits. And, you know, you would see the old people come in, you know, they ain't much care. They got bowels bad and everything. They come in and go straight to the community toilet, pull their pants down, don't line it with tissue, don't sit on the shower shoes and then, and just go to town. And you be looking like, oh, but you don't know what you have no clue what you just introduced your rectum to. I mean, it's got to be bad, but they won't even care. Wipe their butt, get up, and act like it's all good, man. It even smell like a Chevron toilet back there. It's awful, man. It's awful. So what happens is, if you time it right and you got a sorry officer on the dorm, you got a sorry officer, sometimes they won't do their rounds. So when they say lockdown, the officer ain't looking, you run behind the community toilet has a wall so that if you got a boo-boo, you got some form of privacy. But it's just a little brick wall built up. You can't close it. It's not no kind of enclosure. But the officer in the booth can't see it. So when they say lockdown and the officer going to pop the other doors, you run behind the community toilet and you just sit there and wait. If you get it right and the officer don't come in and do rounds, then you good. Most of the time, the people who would do this would just use this opportunity to shuck and jive. Meaning, if I stayed out and the officer don't come and check, all I'm gonna do is I go by my homeboy door and I could just sit there and talk to him my whole night. We'll sit there and kick it. Somebody might holler, hey, white boy, come go get that sheet of paper for me. I look, make sure the officer ain't looking. Now these be your missions. They fun, they exciting, but they can get you caught. They can get you locked down. They can get you, you know, if you say, hey, white boy, go get that for me, and I run to go get that for you, and the officer see me. Now I'm gonna be mad at you, like, God damn, bro, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You done got me locked down. I would have made it. Again, all this kind of stuff might get you locked down, might not. Most of the time, they don't. Sometimes you supposed to be on lockdown, the officer forget. You know, we just trying to wag any kind of way that we can. So I suspect that this is what Sean did. Quint go to get his supplies, go to the utility closet, come back, he tricked the door. The officer say hell with it, let Tony out. Tony go to get his supplies for our dorm. He come back and he do the same thing. He don't close the door. Now you got 3 people out that's not supposed to, well, 2 of them supposed to be, but now you got the whole team out, all 3 of them, at lockdown time. They kept certain things, like I know that they kept Brillo pads. In the county jail, we had these steel tables, look like octagons. They were just stainless steel. So we would use the Brillo pads to clean them. It's the only thing gonna clean them. So, like chemicals, I mean, like Brillo pad, it would be stuff like that. If you needed gloves and Brillo pads, you would have to go to the officer's booth, and get them. The officer's booth, they would have to open the door and they would give them to you like that. You can go to the utility closet, get the mop bucket, the chemicals, broom, yada, yada. But then you come back to the officer's booth and say, hey, can I get some gloves and a Brillo pad? They'll get the gloves and the Brillo pad, they'll pop the door. Back up. When they pop the door, they'll come down, they'll walk down the little stairs, open the door, and hand it to you. Again, you have, so I done explained to y'all the whole setup. And this is how it has to go. She has to come down and open the door and give these boys the stuff that they asked for in order for them to start cleaning. Now, she can easily say, no, I can't pop, or she can say, I can't pop the booth. I'll wait till my officer come and then I get y'all gloves. That would have been protocol. So I'm not sure if she got in trouble for the incident that happened at night, but all she's trying to do is really just get the show on the road. She can wait and go by every rule in the book, which is how to be safe, but she can, you know, you do this every night. It's the same thing. Everybody know what's going on. So now it's kind of like, you know, she taking a chance. She's not trying to do anything wrong. She just trying to basically get it over with. Because now at this point, everybody know about the plan. We don't know how, but we know that they leaving tonight. Real quickly, I have to explain to you the setup. So when you come on, man, when you come on the floor, it's almost like a fortress. But when you think about what it would take to actually get out of the building, I'm not sure about other county jails in other counties. I've been to Clayton County, and if I'm not mistaken, those are my only two: Clayton County and DeKalb County. So I'll start from the inside out. So first, the officer would have to pop you out of the dorm. You'd have to leave the dorm, go into the lobby area to where, like I said, the officer booth is. That officer then has to open up a sally port door, all right? So that sally port door is access to the elevators. The officer can either open the sally port door, which is access to the elevators to go up and down, up to other floors, down to the bottom floor to leave the building, so on, so forth and so on. She can open the multi-purpose room. She can open the rec room. The rec room also has a door on it. That's an escape door. Now, I mean, that's an exit door. Don't ask me how I know this. It ain't like I ever thought about escaping or nothing like that. We just gonna say, I know that there's a door in the rec room that leads to the outside world. But when you on the second and third floor, you can't open that door. You better not. So if she popped the sally port door, it leads to elevators. In order to get on the elevator, you got to be an officer with a key. If you an officer with a key, you can get on the elevator, go where you want. Then you go downstairs. When you go downstairs, there's a series of turns and cuts you would have to make, and you have to check out at the officer at the desk. If it's normal protocol, it's where you would go to receive your property or anything you got locked up with. They'll give you a check for the money that you had or whatever. So if you escaping, this the same is lined with officers. Police is everywhere. So you got to make it through them and then out the door, front or whatever. And once you get out that front door, you on Memorial Drive. Now, Memorial Drive, it's like DeKalb County's hub. I mean, as soon as you leave, everything is right there. So everything that goes for DeKalb County, from the people that work for it to the waste management to the magistrate court, the superior court, and at all times, there's all kind of entities driving sheriff's cars, police cars, tactical squad cars. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I just don't think it's the best plan in the world to try to escape from DeKalb County Jail from inside the jail. So basically what I'm saying is, it's impossible. In my mind, anyway, it's impossible. I don't see how it can be done. I'm curious as to whether they're going to go, whenever they do what they do, or they going to go out to, I done made a bet that they going out of the rec room door and not trying to go down them elevators, because you need a key for the elevators. Then you put yourself right in the middle of all the officers. I'm betting these clowns going down, they finna try to open that door to the rec yard and get off with it however they can right there. I'm at my door watching. I suspect everybody else is, because, you know, when you want to talk to somebody, you holler through the door. I'm at my door watching, so I might holler at my boy, bro, there they go, you see him? So the whole time, you know, everybody waiting on them to set it off, we just watching. Next thing you know, man, we see Tony go to the door. Now, I'm going to say Sean was just a follower. Tony is just stupid enough to try this. You can't really call that bravery. His brain capacity just don't get it right. And Quint, I think he a little off. He a little crazy. He pretty much trained to go. You know, he ain't got good sense. So now, personally, I just think them boys were scared of going down the road. They were terrified. They were trying to get up get up out of there, because everybody who came into DeKalb County Jail as a juvenile with those kind of charges was on you leaving out going one way on a prison bus to Alto. So I just think them boys were terrified. And I don't blame them, because I was also. They trying to get up out of there. We see Tony go down to the do his thing, go get the mop bucket, come back from the mop bucket. Oh, watch him like, bro, there they go. There they go. Everybody looking, it's quiet. She popped the door. I mean, when you hear her pop the door to the booth, you can hear it echo through the thing, because we know that's the sign of action. Man, we hear her pop the door. Back out. She popped the door, we watching. She go down, go the steps, open up the door, go to hand them the gloves and the Brillo pad. Tony took flight on her. Swung on her, grabbed her, boom, 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 doing whatever he do. When Tony do this, I guess Quint see it. Quint see the action from where he coming from. Quint come out there. Quint come out, he running out. I don't know, some kind of way, both of Quint and Tony is in the booth with the lady. I think one of them beating her, one of them popping doors. It's doors popping in the other dorms, but you can see, you can look down and see the officer booth. So we see, I think it's Tony, he pressing buttons on the thing. He trying to pop a door, I guess, to get them out. Maybe he trying to open the Sally Port elevator. I'm not sure. But you see him, he all over the dash, all over the board. Quint got one of the brooms from the utility closet. Man, you can see the silhouette of him beating the lady. You don't even see the lady no more. One of them, Tony up there popping like this. You see Quint behind him on the lady. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, just beating her down. Eventually, finally, the Sally Port door open. When the Sally Port door open, they run out of the booth, both of them. When they run out of the booth, the lady get up. She already weak, messed up. She get up, she crawl down, slam the door. Now, when she slammed the door to the control booth, essentially, it ends the mission, because now they can, whatever they were trying to do, they can't do it. She back in control. And y'all didn't take her keys. Y'all didn't take her out of the booth. She gonna let officers in the flow, everything. So whatever happened, they panicked. I guess they didn't expect it to go that long. None of the buttons are working on the keypad. Or they done beat the lady up. They leave. When they leave the booth, she locked the door. Boom. Sean come running out of our dorm too. He come running from behind the toilet, run to the door, open the door, boom. We see these niggas in the Sally Port. They trying to do this and trying to do that. You got the guys, because dorm 200 and dorm 300 are the only two dorms that are juvenile. Everybody else were adults, but they were like intake. Like intake, the people that were waiting on bond, the people that were some kind of special whatever, but they were grown men. They beating on the doors. Yeah, God. They just making noise. Do. If you ain't never been in jail, it's big square plexiglass windows. They sound like speakers. When you beat on them, they just rattle the whole door. They can rattle the whole floor. So when everybody doing it at the same time, it's deafening. It's boom, 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 boom. And they just excited about the excitement. Niggas is trying to escape. Man, they do that. They can't get nothing open. They running around the Sally Port, niggas making noise. Next thing you know, I see them. They get the Sally Port open. They go out there and we thinking they gone. Because, I'm looking, we talking amongst ourselves, but we knowing, it's finna be some repercussions. We finna go on lockdown. We talking, we doing this, doing that. Everybody looking. So, all you can imagine the kind of excitement we got going on. Now, of course, we can't hear the lady in the booth, but if they didn't take her radio, of course, she done already called a 1010. A 1010 is a code that they use. 1010 means drop everything, come quick. Everybody available. Anybody who's available, drop it right now and come quick. She called a 1010. Man, these dumb ass niggas can... I'm trying to stop cussing, y'all. Man, these dumb ass niggas cannot figure out how to get out the building. We see Quint fly back to his dorm. Tony and Sean run back in our dorm. They run back in our dorm, but their doors are locked, remember, because they locked the doors at lockdown in order to stay out. So they just in the dorm and they sitting around waiting. They sitting around, they just waiting. Man, listen. If you ain't never heard of Doom Squad, DeKalb County got what you call a Doom Squad. When Doom Squad come, they don't come to play games. They don't come to assess the situation. They don't come to talk nobody down. They don't come for none of that. When they call the Doom Squad, when they call 1010, this is like I don't know how to explain it, but basically ain't no more negotiating. If they run in your dorm and they didn't call 1010, they putting hands on everybody. You know what I mean? You need to be, if they call 1010, you need to be standing by your door. Most of the time, the officer will go ahead and pop your door and you go on in and lock it and you looking from behind your door. Because anybody out on that floor, they attack them first. And then the officer got to be like, no, that wasn't them. They attack them first. Man, listen. Man, when Doom Squad came down there, Doom Squad consists of officers from the jail and officers from the street, whoever in the building at the time. You know this because the officers from the jail don't have a gun belt. They'll have the rest of the same, look like the same uniform and a badge, no gun belt. When the Doom Squad come, a lot of them have gun belts on. You know, they tote guns. So, you know, these officers from the street too, a lot of them have on bulletproof vests. Man, they come in, they grab Tony and they grab Sean. Listen, I mean, and we just watching. When you behind the door, you pretty much safe. They don't give a damn who watching or not. Man, listen, they grabbed them boy, picked them up, slammed them. I'm talking about roller coaster ride. I saw, what I remember is there was man, she was bad. This girl had to be about 5 feet, fat booty, light skin, ponytail, but she had the officer belt, so she was an officer from the street. Man, she come down there. I mean, now understand, Doom Squad got everybody, men, women, everybody, sergeant, officer, everybody, lieutenant, everybody. Man, she on Sean's head with one of them sticks. She on, talking about he in the corner. She on top of him. Yada, 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 yada. I'm talking about going crazy on their head with one of them sticks them officers have from the thing. We see blood and everything. The only thing saved them, half of the Doom Squad done ran over the 300 to see who out over there. Because she probably done told them 2 and 300. So I can't see what's going on. But as while we watching, we can see them in handcuffs bringing Quint out. He fucked up. Blood, messed up. You can't see his face. When they had you out, like, your handcuffed like this, but they trying to put your arms up behind your head. They might be done hog tied you. So they got Quint, one man on both arms way up here. Ain't no need in protesting, because if you tell them it hurt, they just gonna do it harder. I believe the only thing saved them boys right then and right there, Officer Flint came down. So Officer Flint he was there in the building, but he was working a different flow. He normally our juvenile officer. Man, Officer Flint came down and pretty much begged for them boys. He came down to get them, you know, jump over them, cover them, or whoever they would be. He asked the little lady officer to get off him. You know, he basically asked if he could apprehend them without all that. And for the most part, they were pushing Flint out the way. Move. He was just another officer in the crowd but I do think he was able to minimize the beating. Because understand, they had Sean on the wall fucking him up right in front of right in front of us, juveniles, other inmates, and they don't give a damn. If you set it off on some officers, they don't need no witnesses. Could get what they gonna say. Assault on officer. Once you got assault on officer, oh, everything fair game. So yeah, man, they whooped Sean right there. They took them boys out. They beat up Tony too. I ain't see his beating that bad. Now they taking them out and they took them boys to the 8th floor. And one thing we know, and they even told us, Tony told us, once they got them to the 8th floor, man, you talking about a whole nother whooping. Got them boys in there, man. They beat the shit out them boys. From that right there, that officer ended up resigning from that incident. She ended up retiring. Now the 8th floor in DeKalb County is where they keep the murderers and the I don't want to say 7 deadly sins, but it's something real serious up there. Like it's for sure the murder charges, but it's something else. It's categorized as something else. Like I can't remember, but even the doors are different. If you've ever been to the county jails, you know the door. Like I said, they pop the door and they swing. Once you move to the 8th floor, because they moved her to the 8th floor before. Once you move to the 8th floor, the doors slide. The dorms are much, much smaller. I don't know how this happened, but the dorm is much, much smaller and the doors slide. So what happens is, because like I said, at one point, they moved us up to the 8th floor to see if they can get better control over us. And what happens is, they don't tell you lockdown no more. Like, if it's time to lock down, if we got a set time to lock down, when it's time to lock down, your door just start moving. So if we sitting here playing chess or watching TV, you just hear, tang, then you look back and your door is closing. So you have to grab your stuff, whatever you got out, your cup, your Bible, whatever you have out in the day room, you got to grab that and beat your door from closing. Because if you get caught outside that room, then, you know, it's another lockdown, 72 hours or some more bullshit. But that's how they train you. When that door closed, when that door start moving, they want you running. So them boys went up to the 8th floor for, if I'm not mistaken, it was around about 8 months. Stayed on lockdown the whole time. When they came out, they all had hit growth spurts. Tony was like 2 feet taller than me and big. And somebody had a big old afro. He looked like a whole different person. And he came out and let us know what they did to him. But they got an extra charge. And that was it. It didn't affect them no more. We was all headed to prison anyway. But they got an extra charge, and the escape attempt was unsuccessful. All it got them was a big old ass whooping. I appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. Go and hit the like button, share, subscribe. Y'all gotta forgive me, man. I just had my dog just had puppies, so I've been trying to help her, and it's been taking up a lot of my time. But y'all hit that Cash App, and I'll see y'all on the next one.